Hi guys, welcome to another episode of The Final Whistle. We're back again with another episode, and today we have Daniel, we have Derek, and then we have Ibn. I think he wants to show off his new Chelsea jersey. Ibn, show us the new jersey. Let me see.
Happy New Year, guys.
I mean, it's a Happy New Year, but for Chelsea fans, I'm not sure if they're so happy. But let's talk about the guys on top of the league. Daniel, your United team was the top of the league. You guys, you guys are flying, man. It's like so. I remember when we had the episode, right? At around before the season, we had an episode, and we all kind of predicted United being the top four. And then after the transfer window, they had a terrible transfer window. They had just lost 6-1 to Spurs, and Derek had them outside the top six. I had them outside the top six. Ibn had them outside the top six. I think you had them fifth.
Yeah.
Fifth, you had them outside the top four, but you had them fifth.
And I think after a week, and I was like, I'm going to put them probably on the fourth.
Yeah, but our initial reaction was, this is not a top 4 team. This may not be a top 6 team. And even with the most optimistic United fan as you are, Daniel, even you didn't believe that this team could turn around. How have they done it? Because we sat here and we talked about how Man City and Liverpool may be the favorites to win the league. We talk about how many signings Chelsea have done, and Chelsea could be a dark horse where we wouldn't be surprised if Chelsea wins the league. You have let all these teams that we spend so much time on, like, talking about and evaluating now. So we are so bullish on all these teams. How have you guys done it? Because I do not know.
I think first I would really like to say that Ole has overachieved. Up to this point, he has overachieved because, I mean, as you initially stated, that we sat here before the season started, and I made a prediction that, I mean, United is nowhere near the title challenge, okay? All boiling down to the transfer window that we actually had. And hats off to Ole, because, I mean, looking at the way he's actually managed a lot of situations surrounding the club, I mean, from Maguire to Pogba issue and all that. I mean, that's why I will probably say that hats off to Ole. And it has all boiled down to consistency and game management. I mean, if you actually look at from the loss from Spurs, I mean, we actually lost our heads. I mean, we actually thought that this season, I mean, United, even before the season started, we knew that United is nowhere. And even after the Spurs game, it was bad. But he actually managed the game by game by game, and he actually instilled that belief in the players. And I think he has really done well, and hats off to Ole for that. And I think we actually, at this stage of the season, it all boils down to consistency, of which we didn't have last season. Do you get it? And we've actually managed to probably keep that consistency, focus on one game after the other. And, I mean, that's where we are now. But I'll probably say that it's actually the doing of Ole actually managing the boys till now, because, I mean, there were so many issues. I mean, off-pitch issues. I mean, not even to talk about the on-pitch issues. I mean, he actually managed the Maguire issue cleverly, and he also managed even the Pogba issue. And now look at what he's actually done with Pogba right now. Pogba has his confidence back and all that. So, I mean, he has overachieved. Ole has overachieved.
I've been very impressed. I've been very impressed with it. I think, Derek, before our last, we talked about this briefly. We didn't really elaborate as much on it, but I think we're having this quick discussion about who did you trust more going for, Spurs or United? And it was before the Christmas break, and I was like, I think this United team have something going on. I didn't post that episode because I thought we were going to talk about this again, so it would kind of be basically discussing the same thing. And I was saying the United team looks like they are trending in the right way, and I do not like how Mourinho plays his team, and we were talking about how it's not sustainable. Mm-hmm. What has impressed you so much about this United team?
Well, the question is, am I even impressed? That's the question, right? Mm-hmm. I still, I mean, and you can call me whatever you want, but I still have my doubts about the United team, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
In spite of the fact that they've been able to, turn the corner, and then show us something that is very different and something that we're all not used to. I think it's a big pat on the back, pat on the shoulder to all, Man United fans, etc. But I still have my doubts, about the team and, what they can do, things around consistency and things like that. But I don't want to say I'm not happy for them. I am, because
I'm not.
we all hope that it will happen sooner. Man United is a big club, one of the biggest clubs in the world, if not the biggest.
No, I
And,
don't. I
and
don't
we
hope
all
it will
hope,
be
we
sooner.
all, I mean, in spite of the fact that we as, fans of other teams, wish that they stay, they are the bottom, so all of us can thrive and, excel and things like that.
Mhm.
Hey, it's Manchester United. You need Manchester United to be able to.
It's good for the game, yeah.
Exactly. They have to show that a kind of confidence. They have to be able to beat the big teams. We want a good representation for football and then for
Mhm.
English football in general.
Mhm.
And so I love the fact that, things are happening that way. What I am more impressed about, and maybe that would somehow suggest that I'm going back on my words, is the fact that throughout the entire time that Manchester United has been trying to rebuild post Alex Ferguson, if you take that one good season they had with Mourinho, it has always been them struggling at the beginning, and at the very end, they kind of,
Mhm.
rubber hits the road and they start to get better. The good thing about this year is it didn't happen as late as it had happened in several of the seasons past. And so then it gives me the confidence that, well, if they were able to turn the corner this fast, would this mean that they're going to continue to push it to the end? Because this is something we haven't seen yet, and we're yet to see if, they can be able to push it to the end. I mean,
Mhm.
if they're able to do that, that is going to be, great for the team and, good for the confidence of the players and things like that. One more thing that, I wanted to say is, why did Manchester United turn the corner this quickly and easily this season, even though they started playing very poorly from the beginning of the season, right? What happened? And when I really think about it into details, what I'm beginning to think is, when a team plays together and they start to go through problems, the longer they play, the more confident they are to get out of whatever problems they're
Mhm.
in and then get better. That's what I'm
Mhm.
beginning to see. And so they've been through this so many times that they have the experience of turning the corner. And maybe that is what really happened to Manchester United. I don't think that Ole did anything very different. Well, kudos to him for how he has handled things recently, but he's had bigger problems in the past, to be honest,
Yeah,
right?
the part is more
But
time tested, right? It's been-
exactly, his ability to attract, players like, Fernandez, in spite of everything that is going on, to still keep the Manchester United machine moving, I think that, it was great. And at this point where, they've gone through, it's almost like a relationship, right? You go through a lot of bad times, you're able to, do better when the worst comes to worst. And so that's what I feel is happening to them. And I love the fact that the ability to stay together is going to augur well for their future, because now they have belief that if we've gone through, the worst times, we can actually be able to survive these good times and bring the team back to what everybody expected them to do. So, hey, I'm excited for Manchester United fans, but I wouldn't say that that is going to change my initial prediction about them for this season, etc. I still stick to my guns that I don't think Manchester United is going to stay in the top four.
Okay.
I think that the struggles are going to come, but I would hope that they can beat all those struggles and then show everybody that, hey, we've turned a corner permanently. We're not going to be in these predicaments, for the long haul.
I'll
And
tell you what, that's a big shout because at this point, to call them out of the top four is a big shout. But
yep,
we'll see.
yep.
That's a very big shout. Eben.
I think Derek has said it all. Like the point where he made mention, where if you do play as a cohort for a long period of time, you get to understand and get our problems together. That was what I was going to allude to, and he already said that.
Yeah.
With Manchester again being in top four, that conversation is still up in the air because there are like a lot of like sketchy games out there, especially those in the bottom half of the table where they're going to be struggling for points here and there. They can be a decider of the entire season or of the entire top four at some point. So Has Ole done a good job? I cannot really quantify it to the end of the season. Reason being is that it's too early, and with this season in particular,
guys. Oh, I'm sorry. We've been saying it's too early. We're in the middle of the season.
It's too early for me.
Not quite though.
Yeah, it's not quite yet.
18 games in. We're 18 games in. That's drop dead middle of the season.
Yeah.
All right, but Evan, go ahead.
But you might say it's the middle of the season. For me, as soon as you hit the 21st, 22nd, that's when I call you middle of the season. But anyway, I feel like Ole hasn't really done anything exceptional for me in the sense that he has the players. And again, what has he done? What has he done tactically that has like been superb in terms of like performances? I feel like the players right now are just playing for themselves and trying to basically put the reputation of the team back as it was before. So in terms of rating him right now, as in doing a great job, I cannot rate him. I'll wait to the end of the season and be like, hey, he did a good job because he won whatever he won, if he should win anything, or he did improve in certain areas, but this is what he should do to get a better grade in the future. But other than that, I feel like everything is going well with Manchester United. They're in the right path. And I just wish them the best, nothing but the best. But not against when they play against Chelsea, though. Just making it clear.
Okay, Daniel, you can go, and I'll wrap it up real quick.
Yeah, I think Aben stating that he hasn't really done a good job. I mean, I think I wouldn't really side with him on that because, I mean, looking at this stage last season where we were and, I mean, where we are now.
Yeah.
And starting, like, when we were starting the season, we all didn't know where Man United will be.
I don't know why Eben is hating.
And after that, hold on. You can actually be a Chelsea fan and hate, okay? But sometimes you have to give credit where credit is due.
Yeah.
So on another note, I mean, Derek was stating the fact that when you actually go through some rough patch and you actually come through that part, you actually gain that strength from going through that part. Mm-hmm. I mean, looking at our away record, I mean, last season wasn't really the best, but we've actually gone away and look at how we managed to win those away games.
Yeah.
In very difficult circumstances.
Yes.
So that goes to show you the mentality that, I don't know, not really Ole, not just Ole, but the coaching staff, the mentality in this player. So, I mean, when I see Man United play now, I can actually see that there's some mentality that until the game is finished, I mean, we are not done. I mean,
heart and character.
Talk about even the last minutes of the Liverpool game. Like, Alisson made some great saves, of which Man United would have even come away out of Anfield with a win. You know what I'm saying? So, there is some mentality that the coaching staff have actually instilled in these players. Do you get what I'm saying? So, I mean, to talk of only not done anything, come on.
Can I make a quick comment? Yeah. You know, maybe Daniel, you probably misunderstood, you know, Eben's example, but this is what I'm thinking. Yeah. everything that Ole has been doing, at least what is publicly known, I don't think that he's done anything different than we've seen him do, right? But let's take, for example, the very year that Antonio Conte came to Chelsea, right? He came in, he had his own, you know, formation that he was playing in his previous team, came in, decided that he wasn't going to play that formation. He's going to play according to the abilities and what the team has. We're not doing very well. And then he changed the formation. You know, he pulled players like, you know, Moses and stuff like that, started playing in different positions, and the team just turned a corner. Mm-hmm. With that, you can say, yo, that is the manager. The manager has done something that has changed the entire team.
Correct.
Right? So I think Eben is trying to say that, yes, he's a manager. Of course, there's certain basic things that he has to do, but he doesn't think what we're seeing is something drastic that Ole stepped in and did something and then changed. But that does not mean that he doesn't get the credit for what is happening. You know.
Talking about dealing with players. Yeah. You know how sometimes off-pitch incidents can affect the whole vibe of the team.
Absolutely.
For Pogba, the issues that he actually had with Mourinho couldn't really handle the players, even like with the Paul Pogba issue.
Correct.
The whole team turned against Mourinho. And it affected the whole team. So if I actually talk about, what he has done, it's not just on pitch, but off pitch incidents. Maguire was your captain, Maguire is your captain. Look at the incident that happened. It could have actually damaged the whole team. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, so what he is actually doing is not just on pitch management. He's actually really managing like everything surrounding the club. He didn't have a good transfer window. He didn't speak any bad thing about the club. He went on say even positive things about the club. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, there's some mentality and there's some aura that is actually building around the team, and that has actually helped the team in these bad times. And that is what I would say.
So, I'm going to add to what Daniel is saying. I think sometimes we pay too much attention to what happens on the field. But like with professional players, I keep saying this thing, man management is more important than any tactic you can do on the field. Because you can get talented players can play up to their level or exceed their level with just great man management, putting them in the right position, giving them confidence and all that stuff. I think that is what like Derek, you were saying about the tactics and all that stuff. It doesn't necessarily have to be tactical because everything doesn't have to be changed on the field. It's just in the backstages, in the locker room. That's where you fix your problems and your your differences. So Ole not changing the tactics or making huge changes on the field does not mean that his impact off the field has not made them into the team that they are now. But let me ask this real quick before we continue. So Derek does not think that United will finish top 4, right, Derek?
I hope they do, but I don't think so.
Okay, so they're not going to finish top 4. If you're going to put your money on it, would they finish top 4 or not?
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
Evan, do you think United will finish top 4?
You don't have to finish your sentence. They're going to finish top 4.
But we can.
I'm not talking about top 4. Yeah, you should. But do you realistically, as a fan, do you have a chance to win this league, or is this something that is like
to win the league? I'm not sure. Seriously, to win the league, I'm not sure. Seriously.
Of course, before the season started, we all thought Man City and Liverpool would put a strength, right? We thought they were going to keep the same consistency they've been keeping for the past, 2-3 years. But unfortunately, it feels like they've actually, dropped a little bit, and then all the other teams are just, actually playing well. Because if you look at the table, right, we're top with 37 points, right? And then Leicester is 35 points. And then Liverpool 34. If City wins today, they'll be, I think, second. It's just all congested at the top, right? So I don't know if United is actually playing well, because 18 games for you to have 37 points, I don't think it's really that great, to be honest with you. So it's just the top teams that we expected to do great aren't doing good. And then the other teams are actually just, finding a way to win games. Aston Villa has about, 3 games in hand? And they're still in top 6, I believe. Right? So it's just all over the place. So, of course, I'll give credit to Ole, because I wasn't expecting United to be on top. But, come on. Today, for instance, it was a boring game. Though we had the best clear-cut chances, it wasn't the game that we were actually expecting. Liverpool hasn't played well. They've not scored in 3 consecutive Premier League games. So, of course, the standards have dropped for every team pretty much. That's why I think United is in first position. I don't think that is going to last for a long time, because City looks like the team to beat at this point. They have to. They're playing now. They have a game in hand as well. I think if they win, they will have about 37 or 38 points. So, which means, and I think they're actually playing well, because their defense partnership between Stones and the guy from Benfica, what's his name, is really working well. They've not considered it in the long term. So I think is now the team to beat. Liverpool, I think, have dropped standards. United is in pole position. I'm excited, but I don't think it's going to last for long. Top 4, definitely, I think we could get it. But I don't think we're going to win the league. If we win it, I'll be very, very surprised. Very, very surprised.
No. So what I had said was I still stick to my original predictions from the beginning of the season. I would hope that Man U can stay in the top 4 and even win the league because it's good for English football. But I don't think they've given me enough for me to change my original, despite the fact that midpoint in the season, they're top of the league. I don't have enough to go back and say I'm changing what I originally thought.
So let me ask you a question.
That's all I said.
Oh my God, this is going to be long.
Chelsea were going to be champions, so you still maintain that.
So
And
here's the thing. Yeah.
Are you still maintaining that? Are you still maintaining?
Do I think that Chelsea is still gonna win the league like I thought from the beginning? No.
Yeah, that's.
Do I hope?
It's going to change.
Do I hope that changes and gets better? Absolutely. It's almost like the same way I said it for Manchester United. Do I hope that Manchester United will stay in the top 4? Yes. But do I have enough evidence to say, or do I feel convinced at this point that they would? I don't think so. I think they've turned a corner. I think they're playing great football. I think that whatever is happening with the team is good for the English league, but we need more to be able to say that, right? I don't think just based on what we're seeing now, I'm just going to go around and just switch things around. I think I personally need enough time. I need the Manchester United team to show me something more for me to say that I think this team is now ready and they've turned a real corner.
Okay, let me ask you a question. So you're saying that United hasn't shown enough, right?
For me.
With the top 4 that you predicted earlier on, what have they shown you better than United?
So if we're doing comparisons, then of course we're going to start to go through every single team and then talk about it.
Yeah, the top 4.
But I want us to focus on just Manchester United because if we want to start from the top, then I could say a lot about Liverpool, about every team, and then we're going to rearrange the whole thing. But I think that wherever we are at right now, I don't think it's enough for me to go back and change it. I think there's still a lot of time within the season for everything to line up for us to see how it eventually, evens out. That's where I am at right now.
Okay.
Not to say I don't respect the Manchester United team. No, I didn't say any of that. As a matter of fact, I was the first to say that it's good for the league and it's good for English football for Manchester United to be at the top because we need them to be at that point, but we're just talking the practicality of the league, and I'm not just going to switch sides just because Manchester United is on top of the league at this point of the season. And you rightly said something, Yaga, that the top is really congested. Like anything can happen. You only need to lose 2 games and you're out.
Definitely. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's why I don't want to just jump quickly to Aston Villa has 3 games they haven't played yet. Manchester City has to win their outstanding games, and it changes everything, right? And so there's more to it than what we see. I'm happy for it. I'm happy that it's happening, but I still stay where I am. I just want us to watch, how everything plays out.
We had a lot of discussions, and we were talking about, Chelsea could win the league. I didn't think they could win the league, but I did think that they were going to fight for the, they were going to battle for it, but then finish third, kind of somewhere close in the mix. I think Ibn, you had them winning the league. Mm-hmm. You had Chelsea win the league. Derek had Chelsea win the league.
I did too. Yep.
I know Yaga had Chelsea second or third.
Yep.
And I think Daniel was the only one that said Chelsea would finish what?
4th or something like that. That's what he said.
Daniel?
Yeah. I said, I think third. I think it was third.
So all of us had Chelsea in the top 4 after that transfer window. Everything was going well. We just think, this team is Ziyech and Werner and Havertz and Thiago Silva, every Chilwell. The team just seemed like they were ready for a real title challenge. Ibn, what happened?
That's my answer. It's dead cricket. I don't really know how to explain things in terms of what happened with Chelsea. It just baffles me because with all this money spent, right, you would think that finishing 4th last season, you're going to improve. I said third, 4th. Yeah, we finished 4th last season. You would think we would improve. But honestly speaking, at this point, I feel like it's a matter of allowing Lampard to figure himself out with the new squad that he has. Because, granted, you have new signings. and that's not enough excuse. But other teams also have new signings and they're performing. So I just think we just need to get Lampard. We just need to support him right now because whatever's happening with the team right now, I cannot really like articulate on as to what needs to be changed. I feel like they're performing as well as they can with what they have, and Lampard does not. Honestly speaking, Lampard does not really have like a plan B when games are not going really well. It's in particular this season. If you look at last season when we were playing against Arsenal, he was like always like thinking it's not just Arsenal by itself. Like all the games, he was like always up the field, like up the pitch, thinking, trying to make changes. But this time around, Lampard just goes into the game. Whatever happens. He just sits down, crosses his arms. That's like pathetic. I think it's a matter of more game time, more understanding of each player and their contribution to the team. Although I've been singling out certain players when we do have our little side conversations, but I just feel like just allow the season to be over, see what happens next season, and then if things aren't going in the right direction, then we can.
You the towel already into the season?
Yeah, I already called it out. Like I'm done.
And we're halfway. And you already checked out.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done. Like Yaga and I had.
What does that mean?
So why are you placing Chelsea right now?
Yeah. What is
No. Let him finish your thought so that we'll go back and then talk about the placement. But Ibn, finish your thought because I want to get everybody's thoughts, and then we'll talk about the position placement.
Yeah. So in terms of like Lampard himself as an individual and as a manager for the team, I still think there are a lot of like areas for improvement in terms of like game management, in terms of like personal relationship with players. And once he picks up on that, things will change for the good.
You know, strangely, I am not that concerned. You know, the truth is, you know, in our last recording, Jeff, you raised some points on there, and then you're telling me about what you're seeing and blah blah blah. And I said, I'm not concerned. I still stick to the manager. I stick by the team. I think there's something there that is going to happen. At this very point in time, I believe that with everything else happening at the top of the league, it's going to be very difficult for Chelsea to win the league. Like, they literally have to probably win every game that's left for the season for us to stand a real chance, in winning the league, right? So that, for sure, I don't think Chelsea would end up winning. I still think Chelsea is going to end up in the top 4. I think that Chelsea is going through a season, or it's going through a time that it's easy for us to point fingers and kick players and stamp on them when you're down and things like that. But I still think there's something very special about this group, and whenever they shake off whatever is happening right now, whether it has to do with lack of confidence from some of our players, or Lampard trying to figure some things out in terms of what formation to play, which players to plug into the right positions and things like that, injuries and some of these things which we're getting hit by every now and then. When we shake off these things, I still feel that Chelsea is a very solid team that is a real contender in this league. At the very beginning of the season, Jurgen Klopp made a point. He said that he thought that Chelsea could potentially be favorites to win the league, and it wasn't because he was saying that to make us feel good or whatever, but I think he sees something in the Chelsea team. I see that same thing in that Chelsea team. It's just a matter of shaking off whatever is happening right now, and getting through it. The only part of this whole thing that makes it a bit hard for me to still push for Chelsea winning the league is the fact that Manchester United is out of the Champions League, so they can be able to focus more, on this league. And I feel that a lot of the other teams who are also like Aston Villa and some of those other teams can be able to focus in the league and actually get the best out of it, which I feel Chelsea might suffer a little bit, with all the struggles that we're having, right now because we have to play all of those games to be able to get into it. But overall, I still feel like we have a quality side. I still feel that despite the fact that we're still figuring things out, we would get there, Hopefully it's sooner than later, because when I actually pay attention to every single game that Chelsea has played, there isn't a lot I can call out. I feel that whatever problems that we have, teams have been through it before in different variances of it and gotten over it, and I would hope that we do that sooner than later.
What I see from this team is, I think in the beginning of the season, I was saying something about that there were too many players, and it seems like it has to have time to gel, right? The grace period where we have to gel is what's happening right now. I just see a team that there are too many players and there are too many decisions that are big for Lampard. In the beginning of the season, right, he is trying to fit players that, because he spent so much money on them, he's trying to fit the players into the team as soon as possible. He's trying to fit Havertz into right mid, attacking mid, left mid. He's trying to fit him. He even played him striker one time. He's trying so much to fit the players into the team more than the team fitting, like the team picking itself. So that's the reason why Hudson-Odoi comes on and has a great game, back-to-back games, and he still doesn't start because he's trying to fit Werner in there, and he's trying to fit other players that he spent more money on to fit, because that's basically what's going to determine his,
There's no issue with the squad.
Yeah, there is no. That's why I said earlier. I don't think there is any issue in terms of like the players.
There's squad issue.
I feel like it's Lamb's game management at this point, because
just say
like Lamb's
game management.
The game management. Like, for certain games, you're just supposed to kill it. But
if you guys have lost the game yesterday, there'll be more pressure on Lampard.
That would have been it.
If you guys have lost the game yesterday.
Because Derek, remember, nobody, when Chelsea were losing, nobody ever said that, oh, Chelsea had bad injury, so we're going to excuse Lampard. Nobody has ever said that. I have never heard anybody say that Chelsea's injuries were the reason why they are back out of form. We're just saying that the players that we signed just haven't shown up. Havertz have not shown anything. I was telling you before the Christmas episode, I was like, I'm worried about the Havertz guy because I feel like he does not have the character.
He's like
he's very hard, right? All these players, that's the reason why. If Ziyech was hurt and Pulisic was, if Werner was scoring goals, we would have been okay. When it started, the reason why we would have been okay, but they're not performing, and that's the reason why we're in that position. It's not because Ziyech and Pulisic did not start the season. That's not it. I want to talk about Gareth Bale, because the Gareth Bale as the last topic, and it's getting lost in it, because the reason why we do not talk about it is because when the season started and when things were going well, Spurs were top of the league, they were fighting for the league, so we did not spend any time on it, because remember, when everything is going well, nobody ever has any excuses, nobody says anything. As soon as results start to go left, that's when the questions start to come up.
Like Chelsea, right?
Like Chelsea was. Like Chelsea was. Werner wasn't actually scoring, but I was telling Derek the other day, he's actually assisting, he was actually playing really well. He just wasn't scoring, but he was playing well. It's like the Firmino situation. Firmino does not score goals, guys. But because Liverpool is so good, they be like, oh, Firmino does the job.
But now they're focusing on that because Salah and
Exactly. Now so obvious. So that's the classic situation that I think, Bill. And tell me, I'm going to put this situation because there can I go back and forth about this Mourinho thing all the time, right? And I'm going to say this, and you guys tell me if I'm crazy or am I right on point with this.
Yeah.
Jose Mourinho has a way he likes to play. We all know that. He has coached your team, United, and he has coached Chelsea. Jose Mourinho is a very pragmatic manager, right? He's a very structured formation. Everything has to be a certain way. The reason why Bale is not playing is not because Bale is not better than Mora or Lo Celso or Lamela or even
Bedwine, whatever.
Or Bergwijn.
Yeah.
Right? We all agree that he's better. The reason why he's not playing them is because those guys do not have the pedigree of a Bale. Those guys did not play for Real Madrid, have not won Champions League. They're not the level of them. So they will do whatever the coach says, right? So if Mourinho says, Bergwijn, I need you to come back and protect Ori and play defensive, he's going to say, yes, our boss, right? All these other players, they're going to say, Gareth Bale is not going to do that.
He had that problem with Hazard too, right, in Chelsea.
Exactly, all the stuff. The reason why Harry Kane and Son are willing to do that is because Son does not have any, he doesn't have any, he's a nice guy. He's a yes guy. He doesn't have he doesn't object to things. Harry Kane is also a similar guy. He's a very professional guy. He just does whatever the coach wants. That's the reason why he hasn't put in a transfer request to go to a bigger team. Because if he wanted to leave, he would have left already. He's a professional, very well-mannered guy, right? It's kind of like how Derek is. Like, like if you tell somebody to do, he would just do that. He wouldn't ask if that's some way. Gary Bale's not playing not because Gary Bale can't play, because you can't sit here and say that Gary Bale isn't playing well because he has not played enough. The guy has not played enough.
I think the reason why he's not played enough is because, first of all, from your point, let's say when you talk about Bedouin, Son, whatever, when Mourinho asked them to do the defensive side of the job, they'll do it perfectly. Can Bale do that? No. So hence, Mourinho doesn't have the patience.
He cannot do that. He can do that, but he would choose.
I don't think he can do it as much as see Bale. Okay, he can track back and all that. I don't think he can do it as much as
consistently. Yeah,
and Bedouin because he's not used to it.
That's the difference.
So, and Mourinho doesn't have the patience. He doesn't have time to wait for you to adjust to defensive side of. He doesn't have patience. That's the same issue he had with Hazard back in.
That's the reason why he's played last game. He plays Sissoko, a right wing back.
Right wing, yes.
You know why he plays Sissoko right wing back? Not because he's the next coming of Ronaldinho. It's because
he's gonna do the job.
He just wants his guns going to defend. That's why when he score one goal, he's gonna sit back and just defend.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Fulham had like 60% possession in the second half because they were trying to protect this lead. What has gone on with Bill, and how is this Tottenham situation going to go for him, guys?
I mean, I think he still has to play in the team. I mean, they have a lot of games that they're in the Europa League. He's been playing in the Europa League, so I guess that's where he's destined to be played for. Because at this point, he's not even getting the team. He's not
if they get to the Europa League quarterfinals, do you think he's going to trust Bale?
No, he's not going to trust him.
He's not going to trust Bale.
But there have been games in the Europa League that Bale wasn't even
on the bench.
Exactly, but I mean, because I agree that Mourinho doesn't have patience for a Bale type player, and that's what it is.
So why did he sign him then?
Then why
he's just going to be out of Madrid because Madrid was just a lot going on. They didn't like him and all that. At least as Spurs, he feels loved. Though he's not playing, he feels welcomed and all that. Madrid was a whole different ballgame. So
he switched Madrid to bench. What a terrible decision. Like, he switched sunshine in Spain for, like, dry weather in London. But Derek, good. What do you, like, Derek is a Mourinho apologist. What's going on with Bill?
I mean, you guys have said it all, honestly. I mean, Jeff, you really talked about it in a very, clean way in describing how he wants players to play in a certain way. And if you can't do that, then it's hard for him to put you in. I think that Mourinho has hit a point where he's even become more pragmatic. Mm-hmm. Because now, in the type of league that he is coaching in and where the EPL is right now, you get on the chopping board if you don't win games.
Yeah,
exactly.
So it's even forced them to be more and more pragmatic and just go in and grind results and then get out. And so I personally think that before Bale came into the Spurs team, I don't think that Mourinho really thought this guy was going to be a starter because he knows that at the point where he is at in his life, he's not going to be doing that job. I don't want to compare Bale to Cristiano Ronaldo, but if you had like a Ronaldo coming back to, a Man United team, you're not going to ask him to do that dirty job. He's almost like the X factor that is going to add to whatever flair, whatever excitement the team has. Unfortunately, the league has changed so much. Like they don't have that. They don't have that. What's the word? They don't have that opportunity to play people like Bale because that's not the game now. In the Europa League and stuff like that. For him.
Yeah.
He can't afford to. He doesn't have the luxury to be playing players like that when he knows that one simple mistake of one player not tracking back is just going to change the entire game. Mm-hmm. So what does he do with him? I really don't know. I think he would continue to use him the way he's still using him, which is when we're on top, 2-0, 3-1 up, I bring him in, give him some game time, see what he can do.
No, but they were tied with Fulham 1-1, and he didn't bring him in. He did not put him. They needed a goal.
Yeah, but when you're tied 1-1, you know what that means? It means you're in the brink of either losing.
You're playing Fulham, Derek. Yeah, so that's our episode. There's a lot of arguments, there's a lot of disagreements, there's a lot of explanations, excuses, whatever you want to call it. But it's very interesting to see what's going to happen. It seems like every single time that we record, something changes that it like enables us to either change our mind or make a difference. Or like in Derek's case, he's gonna want to stick to his guns, and we'll see what's going to happen. But United winning the league it's not something I want to see because, Charlie, my timeline begs Daniel. Charlie, Daniel retweets every single time United wins a game.
Daniel, please take it easy.
Oh,
okay?
Charlie retweets every argument. Charlie, I remember last time.
Theo,
What about?
Nah, Daniel,
Jeff, you're supposed to end it. Not in my second whole argument.
Like can of worms. Let me finish. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe to the channel. We always upload, every time there's something interesting, we try to upload it. So like and subscribe, and comment. Let us know what you guys think. And from Derek, from Eben, Yaga, Daniel, the very two happy guys. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.